Ask yourself, how much time have you spent watching YouTube videos about trading just to watch some guy flex his Lambo knowing damn well he can't trade? Watch my video just not to get your questions answered, and then at the end I'll try to sell you a trading course and it's all rehashed garbage. And then you end up wasting your insubstantial time for the next God knows how long before you're even convinced it's a scam. And why does this happen? I'll tell you. It's because the absolute hardest thing about this industry is you must make sure you get all the correct information. Nothing less than flawless will do here. Which is where I would assume most of you are within your journey to profitability. It took me 3 years to begin approaching profitability. I was a typical high school graduate, already knowing I didn't want to prostitute my time for someone else's money. I had already decided that I didn't want to go to college, and all the jobs that we're indoctrinated to believe are the best for us have one thing in common. All of them have us working for someone else. But like yourself, I had no choice but to work for someone else. At this point, I still knew that I needed a way out of the rat race. Let's start by saying, approach this industry with caution. Trading is not for everyone, and it's a long, hard road to profitability. There are too many snake oil salesmen out there. Rented Lambos, shitty course, fake profit. You see videos labeled, "This strategy will make you a millionaire," or 98% hit rate, leading you to at least give it a listen. And then bam, you're convinced this is the one, and the seemingly never-ending cycle continues. Listen, even if you are smarter than the average person, or recognize patterns quicker than most, it doesn't mean that your learning curve will be any faster. You have to want this. You have to approach this like a PhD level education. Number 2, going back to what I said earlier, more importantly than spending hours scouring YouTube for information is making sure you get the correct information. There is an incredible amount of bullshit about trading all over the internet, especially YouTube, and there are hundreds of trading influencers, gurus per se, and that's precisely what they are, influencers. If they're showing you the Lambo lifestyle, that should already be a red flag. Admittedly, I have little to no tolerance for this because I've been there before and they can't trade. These people are salesmen or saleswomen, but that's all they are. Selling you an idea, a lifestyle, and they all start from the bottom, so that makes them relatable, right? I won't say any names here, but you know who I'm talking about. I know what some of you are thinking. What about books? Most books will give you the wrong information. Don't believe me? Try it for yourself and come back in a year and rewatch this video when you're so fed up with trading that you've convinced yourself it's all a scam. Number 3, the basics. Listen, I shouldn't have to tell you the basics. The basics are everywhere, and every trading guru teaches them. There are parts that you're going to learn pretty quickly. The open, high, low, and close, support and resistance, even supply and demand. You can obtain these basics from most any YouTube channel that covers trading. Typical trading gurus that get their info off of Google will tell you to go find a good broker, deposit a small amount such as $500, only after you've paid for their course material. This couldn't be further from the truth. Remember what I said earlier about bad information? Yeah, go figure. I suggest opening a TradingView account. It's completely free and you can learn to trade on a demo. Even though I recommend countless hours of study before even pushing the button on a demo. Now why, you may ask? Simple. You're gonna hit a lick on a demo and convince yourself that you know what you're doing. Your brain will ignore the fact that it wasn't skill. It was just luck. This happened to me in a bull market with the crypto coins, and I was convinced that I just had a knack that most people don't. But little did I know that the market was predisposed to go up anyway. I threw in live money, and needless to say, through a very, very painful process, before finally admitting to myself that I had no idea what I was doing, it was time to go back to the basics. Number 5, do not develop a trading plan. You have no idea what the hell you're doing yet. You don't even know what you don't know, right? Would you develop a plan to run a firm as an attorney before you even study the law? No. This can only be fabricated later in your journey. It's like a 3-year-old trying to develop a plan to run in the Olympics before they can even walk well or know how tall they're going to be, or if their genetics are even good for this in the first place. And if you're like me, you're going to be a freaking sponge for the first 12 to 24 months. This is a perfect time, and you should capitalize on your brain being so eager to learn and focus while it's still new to this. Number 7, practice. Practice is very important, but only once you have the correct information. You don't want to be practicing support and resistance. You may say, why? I've seen so many examples of it working. Yes, but only in hindsight. Be honest to yourself and ask how much money you've probably lost trying to trade support and resistance. Practice is testing the outcome of a model to the point you couldn't care less about the result of a trade. You shouldn't be overly excited about winning, but you also shouldn't be overly depressed about losing a trade. I think reaching this point is what you should strive for. Until you've mastered this, don't even entertain the idea of going live again. Where do I get the correct info? This is where I'm going to say something controversial. The only trader that I support the teachings of, especially for scalping and intraday trading, is Michael J. Huddleston.
If anyone goes to my channel and just puts down all their preconceived notions about what they believe about price action, what they do, what they like about me, what they heard about me, just put that aside for a moment. Go in and try to debunk what I said. Treat that as a challenge. Go in there and see if the things that I'm talking about aren't in fact the very things that's going on. And it's going to be 180 degrees diametrically opposed to everything you can read in books. You look at volume, you look at price action patterns, you look at trend lines and moving average crossovers. All those things, they may be factors that you can identify when the moves are occurring or after they've occurred. But that was not the catalyst that causes the price to move and reprice to where it's going to go. And
Michael flipped everything I ever knew on its head. It was easy to convince me of certain things because after trial and error, and just my natural observances of the world around me, it was obvious that something was very wrong with something I was learning or doing. It became quite clear that it was the info I was receiving. Whether you choose to learn this way or not, stay skeptical of people flexing Lambos at the camera and asking you to buy their trading courses. This at the least will keep you above water before you go all in learning the wrong things. I'll post a second part to this video showing the actual steps I think you should take in the journey to profitability.